This might be the most nervous that I've been about making a video in a long time. Hi everybody and welcome to today's video. My name is Matt and this is What Matters to Matt. And on today's video, we're going to go over what I think I'm going to be able to run the marathon that I have coming up in a little bit over 2 weeks. It is bizarre for me to think that I've got this marathon coming up so soon, but we're going to go over just what different race predictors online have to say about how fast they think I'm able to run. If you haven't followed my channel, first of all, welcome back. But if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, hitting that bell notification, and giving me a thumbs up on this video. It motivates me so much to see that there's new subscribers out there that are willing and that are wanting to see more of my content. But if you're not convinced after watching this video, head on over to my channel and check out some of my other videos. I think I've got a lot of really good content over there, and I think there's lots of you that might be able to relate. Now, that's enough of a hard sell on that. Today, we're going to dive into what some of these predictors have to say. Now, why am I doing this? Well, if you haven't followed my channel, I've made a lot of videos about how this marathon prep has been going. I've been using the Garmin Advanced Marathon Training Plan. But one of the things that I am still fairly new at is actually running the marathon. I've only actually run one marathon to date. I've trained for a few. A couple of things got in the way that made it that it wasn't possible for me to run those other marathons. But I ran the same marathon that I'm running here in a few weeks. I ran that last year. It's a local marathon, and I'm hoping to really set a new PR this time and actually go for it. So last year I did this marathon in 4 hours, 5 minutes, and 49 seconds. This year, we're going to be trying to break that by quite a bit. I'm actually going to be looking at setting a little bit over a half-hour PB on this race course. Last year, it was all about getting through it. This year, it's all about pushing and seeing what I am capable of, and I think my fitness might be there. So we're going to dive into some of these different race predictors. Now, I will put a link to all of these race predictors in the description down below. First one we're going to look at is Metathon, mostly because out of all of the ones that I have here, that's actually the slowest predictor out of them all. So let's dive in and see what Metathon has to say. All right, so just to give you an idea of how Metathon works, now you can actually log into Metathon. You can tie that into your Strava, and they'll pull all that information from Strava, and they're going to look at the last 8 weeks of your running. Now, they're going to look at a couple of different things. They're looking at your heart rate, they're looking at your average pace, and they're looking at your total distance ran over those 8 weeks. And Metathon has me coming in at 3 hours, 31 minutes, and 45 seconds. And just based on some recent runs that I've gone on, I feel like that is certainly possible, and I'm certainly capable of running that pace. But keep in mind, I'm still fairly new. So when I get out there and I'm running these harder workouts, just this past weekend, just a few days ago, I went out and did 2 hours easy, and then about an hour at what was expected to be, or what I hoped to be, around my marathon pace, and then a little bit of a cool down. It ended up being 36 plus kilometers for that run. And it was a solid run, but as I was running those harder paces, I was thinking to myself, could I actually hold these for the whole marathon distance? This is where some of these predictors, I hope, are going to give me some confidence that I actually can. So Metathon has me in 3 hours, 31 minutes, and 45 seconds. We'll take it. I think I'm capable of doing that, as long as we're having a good day. And maybe we'll also talk about A, B, and C goals. But the next one, the second fastest one, or the second slowest one, actually comes from project538.com. And again, I'll put a link to these in the description down below. Now, project538.com is actually looking at a couple of different things, and they ask for a recent race result, which is the rest of the predictors that we have here. That's what they're looking at, and oftentimes when you're looking at race predictors, they are asking for a recent race result. Well, the most recent race result that I have is actually a half marathon time trial that I ran a few short weeks ago. I'll put a link to that video up here up top. I surprised myself in that run. I actually ran that quicker than I thought I was capable of. I got off start on that run, and I looked down at my watch, and I was actually running what I thought was more maybe my 5/10K pace. Decided I was just going to go for broke and see if I could hold it. Turned out I was able to hold that pace for the whole half marathon. So I'm excited about what that tells me about what we might be able to do in the marathon. But 5:38 has me coming in at 3 hours, 30 minutes, and 50 seconds. Now, that's about a minute and a half faster than what Metathon says. what they're looking for with 538 is they ask me what my total mileage is over the training block, what's my average weekly mileage over the training block. And then they're also asking me for a recent race. Now, when I put in that half marathon of 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 34 seconds that I pulled from Strava, that's how we come up with this 3 hours, 30 minutes, and 50 seconds. So happy with that. Also think that's within the realm of what I might be capable of. Now, the other thing I want to mention here before we dive into the next one, and this kind of gives you an idea of where we're going with this, is that one of my goals, I put out a goals video at the first of this year where I was talking about what I wanted to be able to do by the end of this year. And my goal was to run a sub 3:30 marathon this year. My fitness level and where I'm at tells me that I might be capable of doing that now. Now, am I going to go for that? I think we might try. And based on some of these other predictors, we're going to see what happens. But the next one that we're going to look at is actually Garmin. All right, so Garmin is an interesting one because regardless of what you think about their algorithm or how they come up with these race paces, a couple of things I want to note here. First of all, the half marathon pace or the half marathon prediction that they had for me prior to me actually running that time trial was within 30 seconds or so of what I was actually able to run that time trial. So I think had it been an actual race scenario, maybe I could have squeezed out that extra 30 seconds. I don't know, but at least it was very, very close. So it gives me confidence that maybe there's a little bit of reality, or I can get put a little bit of weight in what they're actually saying when it comes to the marathon predictor. And the marathon predictor with Garmin has me coming in at 3 hours, 25 minutes, and 22 seconds. Now that is a little bit quicker than the 3 hours and 30 minutes. If I take this as is, if I take this on the face value, if I allow Garmin to tell me what I should be able to run, I think that's going to be a little bit hot, a little bit quick for me. But we're starting to get into the territory where I can look at going sub 3:30. And I can also look at if I'm pacing myself correctly and I feel like I got a little bit left in the tank when we hit that 20 mile or 32 kilometer mark. I can actually pick up the pace to about this pace if I'm feeling good. But fingers crossed that I am at the time. Of course, we won't know until race day. But again, Garmin has the most information out of any of these predictors in terms of knowing me the best. So I think there's a little bit of value in listening to what they have to say. Now the fourth one, and this is where it starts to get a little bit quick and a little bit bonkers for me, is actually I went over to MacMillan Running and I put in that previous half marathon time trial, and MacMillan Running says that my equivalent current pace or fitness level would have me coming in a marathon at 3 hours, 21 minutes, and 7 seconds. This is flirting with sub 3:20, which is getting close to what I would think is a little bit bonkers for me at the moment. But that is pretty quick, and that's probably a little bit too much for me. And we're going to look at one more here really quickly that actually has me predicted to be just even a little bit faster. And the fifth and final one I want to talk about today actually comes from Jack Daniels. Now, I didn't just cherry pick this one. I look at a number of different calculators out there, and there are a number of them that have me coming in at sub 3:20. Jack Daniels, based on that half marathon time trial that I did, has me coming in at 3 hours, 18 minutes, and 58 seconds. I certainly don't feel that I'm comfortable at trying to pace this marathon at that rate. I certainly don't feel that my fitness is quite there. This is just their equivalent based on the half marathon that I was able to do. I also want to say during that half marathon, towards the end of that, I was just holding on. So even at the half marathon, I was probably close to blowing up in that time trial. So I feel if I try to go out at this pace, I'm not going to make it. Even if I can get my fueling, even if I'm feeling great on the day, I feel like this is a little bit quick. Now, one last thing on those predictions before we get into what I actually plan on running. When I was trying to settle this, when I was trying to figure out what I was going to run, I reached out during a couple of live streams from a couple of YouTubers that I have a lot of confidence in, that I respect a lot. One of them was Kafuzi, and the other one was 40 Runs. And I just asked the question during their live stream. I just ran this during a half marathon time trial. I've got a marathon coming up in May. Do you think I'm able to run sub 3:30? I keep saying sub 3:30, so I think you know where this is going. Both of them said, absolutely. You know, if the training's been right, you've actually got a few more weeks to gain a little bit more fitness. Sub 3:30 is well within the realm of possibility. Granted, they have no more information on me. They don't know me for a hole in the wall, but both of them gave me the confidence. And both of them, I probably trust a little bit more than most of these online predictors and what they're going to say. So that gave me the confidence to actually put it out there and actually say, I want to run sub 3:30. So my A goal for this race is actually to run 3 hours, 29 minutes, and 59 seconds. And how do I plan on doing that? Well, I'm hopefully going to go out and just run even splits. Those even splits are going to pace me with that. Now, the reason why I'm running even splits is because, again, I don't have a whole lot of experience with the marathon, so I definitely don't want to make the mistake of banking time and doing some sort of a positive split thing. I don't think that's right for anybody. I definitely don't want to even attempt or hopefully put out there a negative split. I say hopefully because if I do have some energy left in the tank, we're going to lock it down and we're going to crank up pace once we get to that 20-mile marker. But I don't want to plan for that. I actually want to plan to run just even splits throughout this race. So we're going to run at that pace. I believe that's a 4 minute and 59, maybe 58 seconds per kilometer. I'll put the miles up here. It's probably right around 8 minutes per mile. But that's the pace that I plan on running this marathon at. I'm really, really excited for this. I'm really excited to share this marathon experience with you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, if you think you're gonna like some of my videos, again, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification and like this video. My name is Matt and this is What Matters to Matt, and ultimately, what matters to me most is my family. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.